Charging up in the background is Miami, trying to come through there in now what is effectively lane 3 for them, even though they qualified in lane 4. Here we go, and we're underway. Clean start, no jumps, that's excellent news. Brazil with the advantage. Blue Rising being very cagey and careful in second place. Miami are drafting up alongside, and Aoki are currently 4th. That would not be enough to get through to the final. We're on board now then with the Dragon. They've got to take at least 1 place.
They are neck and neck though. Look at that, Brazil, lovely corner around that first one. Will push him into the lead. There they go. Good move by Nira.
Yeah, good start for the 23-year-old from Spain. Now we're on board then with Aoki. That's Blue Rising up alongside us, and if Aoki gets through, it means Blue Rising could lose their chance to get through to the final. So this is critical. The fact you've got Brazil and Miami having drafted in front of the 2 title contenders that are in this race. How on earth is this going to pan out? There's Will Smith on the left and Mark Anthony on the right. Watch on. Will's team having suffered that great misfortune, and a big leap there for Mark's Racebird in second place.
Yeah, Miami just fell off the foils there and into the water, probably pushing a little bit too hard and losing that balance and that finesse. Team Blue Rising up on the foils there, gliding beautifully with Aoki. So this is all to play for with Aoki and Team Blue Rising. And Aoki in terrible, messy water there. They're going to want to get out of that. So are they going to go off and do a long lap and clean the water? Yeah, anyone going for it? Yes, Team Blue Rising going for the long lap. Good move, I would say there, good move.
So Brazil got the short lap done to extend the lead. Blue Rising, like you say, doing the long lap to get that out of the way and get out of that traffic as well. Will this be an inspired decision for them? Miami did the standard lap. Aoki did the standard lap. On board now then with Jamaica's Sarah Mizir. Okay, now look, we're looking for the clear water if we possibly can. This is only lap 2 of 6. They've got to get through into the top 3. We didn't expect this, did we? We did not expect Brazil and Miami to be leading 1 or 2. We thought this should be almost a formality for Aoki and for TBR to get through, bearing in mind Drogba haven't started, but at the moment we might have somebody dropping out of title contention here.
Yeah, this is really quite shocking. I'm shocked. We've got you know, Brazil and Miami who've been struggling a little bit this weekend, and they're out in the lead, and championship contenders 3rd and 4th place. Not good. Somebody's going to have to make a great strategy move at mission control here so that they can get back on track.
Brazil have taken their long lap in the lead of this race. Miami doing the short lap. They were going to be quite close there, but Brazil still have the advantage just in front of Miami. As we look down on Aoki, Mark Anthony will be loving this though, because Miami have not yet finished on the podium this season. So although they're not in title contention, they're looking good maybe for a podium if they get through to the final. Aoki then, they're doing the standard lap. They haven't done a short or a long lap. Blue Rising have already done the long lap. So is it fair to say it's looking better for Blue Rising than Aoki at the moment, because they are, by the looks of things, Shelley, beginning to close in?
I'm not going to put my money on anything at the moment. It would be good to see what our predictor says of how this is going to pan out, because this is all over the place at the moment. And as you can see, Will and Mark Anthony are also down there thinking, what's going on? How's this going to pan out?
Teams watching on in communication all the time, ship to shore, and there is Brazil doing their short lap. So the graphic actually saying they've done 2 short laps. Now, I don't know whether they've made a mistake or it's a graphic error, but we'll try and work that one out. Brazil leading and continuing to extend that lead. Miami in second place. So how Brazil actually just done 2 short laps in this race so far? They may well have done. They're not supposed to do that, so how on earth is that going to pan out?
Well, that will be a huge penalty or a disqualification.
Yeah.
That's definitely not allowed, because they've just cut 200 meters off the course. So again, I don't know what's going on.
Well, like you say, that's going to be a disqualification if that is the case, but it certainly seems like it, doesn't it? Would you believe it? And that, of course, then could put both of the contenders, Aoki and Blue Rising, back into the top 3. So, are Miami going to come through and win this particular race to cement a position in the final? Timmy Hansen watching on, and they're getting a little bit tense down at Brazil, because they're waiting now to see what's going to happen there, having, by the looks of things, done 2 short laps so far. Nerea Martin now doing a standard lap. There's certainly 1 long lap left to do, But I mean, you can't really make up for that, can you? If you've cut the course and done 2 short laps, you can't really put the distance back on the race again, can you? Unless you do 2 long laps, but I'm not sure it works like that.
Well, it will be a time penalty for sure, if not a disqualification, without getting the rule book out, which we haven't got time now. Wow.
Okay, we're just waiting for the news to come through. We're hearing all sorts of different possibilities at the moment. Let's just wait and see what happens. In the meantime, Miami have done their long lap. So Miami have done the long, they've done the short. As we come through to the 6th and final lap, Blue Rising is still down there in that 4th position. Aoki are ahead. If it were to stay like this, Blue Rising would not be into the final and they would not be able to win the championship. However, we are expecting a penalty for Brazil. How might this affect the championship situation? And now the news, we believe, is filtering through that Brazil have been given a long lap penalty and a 40-second time penalty. So the question is, what is the gap back to Team Blue Rising? It's 22.2. So once Brazil's got 2 long laps to do and 40 seconds, Blue Rising will be up to 3rd, and they're going to be through to the final, aren't they, to join Aoki, and we'll have 4 teams contesting the title in the final.
And does that mean Team Miami are going to win possibly their first race?
Yes, it does. It won't be championship points, of course, but it will be a win here in this race-off with Mark Anthony here. He's obviously brought them tremendous good fortune. And there's Mark watching on. Mark, are you keeping calm? Are you keeping calm?
He's celebrating already. This will be interesting.
So Brazil still have 1 more long lap to do, but the race is going to be over by the time they get round, so they'll be given that time penalty as well for taking 2 short laps. I don't think I've seen that before. We've seen people going the wrong way and confusing the course, but oh, what an unfortunate situation.
Finale pressure, finale pressure. This is what it's all about. You're trying so hard and you just lose your cool and you make silly mistakes.
Blue Rising's taken the short lap, Shelley, on the last lap, and they've jumped ahead of Aoki Racing, which is going to help their lane position for the next race. Brazil come through. On the water, at least they win, but they will not be winning once the penalty's applied. Now, Aoki are 30 seconds behind the current leaders, but the leaders have a 40-second penalty, so they're going to be through. Miami, then, effectively, will have won this race, and is Mark Anthony happy? You bet he is. Miami wins the race off in Miami.
Great news for Miami, and but what a mess further down the field. Oh my goodness.
You can say that again. Blue Rising over the line. Aoki at this point might think that their title hopes have gone, but look at the graphics at the top of the screen as the timing updates. Brazil down to 4th. Aoki have got through. All 4 title contenders are through to the finals, and what a climax it's going to be to decide who are champions of the water. Danny Kloss making his way in there to find out what's happened. He probably thought they just missed the final and lost any chance of the championship, but they haven't, because they're finally classified 3rd. But I think Sherry summed that up better than anyone. What a mess that was further down the field. Look at Mark Anthony's face. It's pure joy here at the Ocean Club.
Can you imagine what he'd be like if he was going to win the championship? I think he'd be jumping off the side into the water.
or even the final later, which is possible now. Wow, what a situation. This is Drogba. They really were so unfortunate here today. They've had 2 podiums already this season. I don't know whether they're going to be able to make an appearance in the place race if they can get the boat sorted. I guess they'll crane it out shortly. We'll have to find out. But anyway, the good news is for the championship, all 4 of the contenders are through to the final.